Why are, pretty much, all tires black? The rubber that tires are sourced from is a milky white color. But carbon black is added to the rubber as a stabilizing chemical compound and makes the tire black. Carbon black protects the tire from the damaging effects of UV light and ozone, two known elements that contribute to the deterioration of the tire. I remember carbon black. I once did a week's contract work in a factory that made it. The dust was so fine that it would penetrate right through your jeans, and you would come out looking like a coal miner at the end of the day. This was in New Jersey in the wintertime, so my most vivid memory is having to take cold showers in the middle of a NJ winter to wash it off. If you took a hot shower, your pores would open up, and it was even harder to remove. I'm sure your lungs are fine though. Find me a person with more UV-resistant lungs than them. That'll come in handy when we put the light inside his body to cure COVID. The vast majority of tire rubber compounds use a soot-like material called carbon black as filler to add strength, rigidity, and durability while reducing cost. This material is, as you might imagine, jet black. The rubber itself is brown or white, depending on the source. Natural rubber is brown. Synthetics are yellowish or bright white. The rubber used to make tires is actually white. Manufacturers add carbon black, otherwise known as soot, to tires to make the rubber stronger. This just happens to turn to the rubber black. Some other additives can be added to change the color, but this isn't done for a few reasons. One is cost. Additives add to the manufacturing cost. Another is general aesthetic. Tires have been this color for decades and just considered pleasing since we're used to it. Finally, adding color compounds could alter the tire's performance and safety. Since there isn't a whole lot of demand for colored tires, manufacturers don't spend a whole lot of time and money developing them. But shouldn't it be possible to make it into a trend to have colored tires, so that people actually pay extra? Everything else on a car can be customized, like rims and paint job, etc. Having worked at a tire plant, I can tell you that manufacturers hate making colored compounds because you have to keep the equipment extremely clean. This means separate mixers and lines for the colored rubber to keep carbon black contamination away. It's a lot easier to make every rubber black and let the plant be an absolute filth pit. Black hides all your sins. I had the misfortune of working in a carbon black warehouse for a bit, and that stuff gets absolutely everywhere and is nearly impossible to clean. Really a nasty substance. Also, carbon black will spontaneously combust occasionally, so that's fun. Yeah, your shower turns black after a while too. Looking down into the hoppers is a strange experience though. The stuff reflects no light, so you can't tell if it's empty or full. You're just looking into the abyss. The Michelin Man is white because that is what tires used to look like, and without carbon added. They changed the process to add carbon, I think, and this makes them more durable and black. The Michelin is white because of systemic racism and the patriarchy. Well, obviously. What isn't? But it also is because tire material is white and they add carbon to make them black. Just like Jesus did when he invented black people out of white people by adding carbon to them. I like a lot of the explanations based on the science behind creating lasting tires. But I would like to also add another explanation: tires that are black will appear nicer for longer. Blue tires will, generally, look nice when purchased. But wear and tear and asphalt will damage the surface of the tires where they meet the road. And I believe this will stand out against a stark color, making the tires look damaged more quickly. Yes, rubber does not need to be black to have good properties. It just so happens that making it black is a bit cheaper if you want such properties. But I am certain there are other ways. Tires are black because anything else, white walls, looks really nasty after just a few months. That'd be bad marketing nowadays. Correct on the carbon black. It's also widely used to reinforce and add thermal and UV protection to other rubber items such as radiator hoses and belts. It is also used as a pigment to dye plastic compounds black, TVs, phones, gas caps, etc. Carbon black is a powder derived from feedstocks such as carbon black oil, a petroleum product, refined through the FCC process, making light ends such as gasoline blend stocks which come out of the top of the unit, and CBO and other heavy products which come out of the bottom of the unit. Not quite. Carbon black isn't made from petroleum distillation. Most manufacturers use heavy aromatic oils in its own process. Source: I work for the biggest carbon black manufacturer in the world. Yes, and thanks for clarifying, I was actually referring to one of the feedstocks used, CBO, which is traded around the U.S. Gulf Coast. We may be a vendor of yours. Winky face. Fun fact: since people have already given good answers, the classic white-walled tires were initially designed that was for entirely practical reasons, not looks. The blackening compounds that strengthened the rubber also made it less supple, keeping the sidewalks of the tire as the plain white rubber made for a softer tire, and kept the more resilient rubber on the treads where most of the wear occurs. Carbon black, N330, is added to all tires at around 40%. This acts as a functional filler by protecting from UV, as has been said already, but its main purpose is abrasion resistance. Tires take a heavy load whilst being dragged across tarmac, as can be seen when you skid, and it leaves marks on the road. The carbon black reinforces the rubber so that it is far more durable, also known as a composite. Whilst fumed silica has been shown to give the same abrasion resistance in rubber as carbon black, and would render a white tire or colored if you were to add pigment, matching tires and paint job, wow, it would be more expensive to produce, and would get dirty very quickly without any way of ever cleaning them other than taking layers of rubber off. Manufacturers tried color options and the concept was not well received, so it's a marketing decision to continue with black. They could make colors if people demanded it. Many years ago, I met a senior executive from Michelin and asked this same question. He told me that they had planned to launch a series of tires in different bright colors. However, state and local governments quickly threatened to ban them because they were worried that people would leave all kinds of multicolored burnout marks all over public roads. Not sure if that was the main reason they didn't move forward with the product, but it was at least one major concern. I wonder if there's a way to make tires that don't smoke when you burn them out. YouTube is full of people making a living out of drift and burnout videos. The immense amount of pollution is a concern. I'm a motoring enthusiast, and it won't go anywhere if people start demanding that other people stop doing burnouts because of the mess it makes, but it might be a better compromise to make tires that don't make smoke when they get hot. In addition to the cost and durability issues that have been brought up, they also look terrible once they get dirty. You ever seen a white bike tire once it gets some mileage? It's hard enough keeping black. Basically, chemical/production wise, they could have other colors. But A, economics, harder to sell. Even harder to resell if you have to. And B, hard to keep the color, because they will get dirty and darker anyway. Consistency: natural rubber comes in multiple shades of a brown orangish color. By adding black coloring, you can create multiple batches of rubber that will all have a consistent color.